To continue with the custom foundation, so I've chosen a yellow one and beige one because Deborah has both tones in her skin, and she's definitely more of a neutral tone, but when you look at someone's complexion, very rarely are they just one color. And then I also added Lipid Complex, so it's gonna add more of a ceramide feel to the foundation. I added Perfect Glace, which is gonna give it a slip and glide texture. And then I also added Luminous because I want more light reflection. And last but not least, I did Beauty Balm, like a BB cream, because I don't want it super heavy coverage. Okay. So we are gonna go ahead with the brush that we used before, and I'm gonna start to buff in the foundation. Now, our foundations are normally medium coverage. So if someone wants a heavier coverage, we can make that. We will add more pigment to the formula. Okay, turn this way. So what I want to check is just how the foundation gets right down on her neck, like how it looks. Now, because she has freckles, this is something important. You do not want the foundation to be the lightest color of her complexion. You want it to be in between the freckle color and the lightest color. Okay. Because if you try to use something really light, it's going to make you look like your head floats because you have some freckling down here.
Okay.
That's kind of important to know. That's something that a lot of people, they would like, okay, what's the palest part? And they match that, but then it doesn't look natural because it's completely blocking the freckles and paling your face out, and then it doesn't look like the rest of your body's attached. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the forehead. Now, she was in here getting a facial, last week, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I see some peeling, which is probably, her esthetician is Jill. So when we're working on anti-aging, we're usually gonna most often peel or make the client flake to speed up the skin cell turnover. So now notice when I'm applying it, I'm using very little. Do you see that? So yes. I'm not going like this. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of tapping it on the back of my hand. Mm-hmm. And when I do my makeup, I do the same thing. I'm tapping it on the back of my hand. And so notice I'm applying to her cheek in layers. I'm not covering it. I'm adding coverage. So I'll add a little bit more just where I need it. Okay. Now the idea is because we added all these hydrators into her formula, that her formula should last all day because her skin won't need to take out all the hydration out of the makeup. So for example, if someone's skin is really dry and their foundation is not hydrating enough, the skin will literally suck the moisture right out of their makeup, and then their makeup doesn't last. So dry skin, it's so important that you get a formula that is completely perfected for your complexion. Now, when I want more coverage, I go back in and stipple. And I'm always checking the neck, especially because Deborah has short hair, so you kind of want it to always look really good around the neck. You don't want a makeup line. That's not cute.
No.
That's the worst, right? Mm-hmm. When you see people with makeup lines like at the grocery store and you're just like, you want to wipe it for them so no one else notices. And it's so common too, because a lot of us, like I got ready this morning and it was fairly dark this morning when I got up. So sometimes we don't have the best lighting to do our makeup in. Okay, so I'm checking just around her hairline, making sure everything is blended. Now, when I do my makeup at home, this takes me like 3 minutes. I mean, I'm basically primer, foundation, and going. But the key with this is just apply a little, add if you need. Okay, so now we have the foundation on, and we're gonna next do concealer. So the concealer, she's either buff or she is cameo. I feel like she's kind of a mix of both of them. Of course, right?
Of
You have to
course,
be
yeah.
complicated. So I'm gonna mix cameo and buff together. What's nice about getting a concealer that's a little lighter and a concealer that's a little darker is that you can always kind of add, like, you know, if there's sometimes when we're stressed, our under eyes look darker, so you can do lighter. But when you have one of those like really good days, you can use the concealer that is not as light. Because the skin having discoloration under the eyes, it has to do with our circulatory system. So the more tired we are, that's why your under eye circles or redness around the eye can look darker. So when we're younger, we can hide it because the skin is not that thin yet. So it's like you can party all night and you can't tell the next day. But as you get older, we have to take better care of ourselves because you can really tell. And she has a little bit of freckling right in this indentation area here. So basically why we have this indentation right underneath here is because the fat was once up under her eye, and basically it's kind of like slid down and it's pulling right here. So that's why you can really, a good trick is apply your lightest shade right there, and that will also help kind of pop that indentation out. Again, that's why I like having the 2 shades of concealer. One of the biggest probably things that people do wrong is they apply it too heavy under the eyes. You have to apply, again, thin coats. I'm gonna apply just a little bit. Like I said, she's peeling, so it's a little bit more delicate that I kind of tap. Now you can also use the concealer around the corners of the nose. Okay, next step is gonna be eye primer.